Outside the space station, two astronauts are conducting repairs when an unsettling noise fills the air, causing pain in their ears as a shadow looms closer. Meanwhile, in the USA, a group of teenagers heads to a lake house for a trip. Annie is introduced to Charlie, who seems uncomfortable and can't stop staring at a picture of a girl on his phone. After a few hours on the road, the group stops at a gas station where Brendan wanders off to take pictures. In the back, he stumbles upon a truck with blood dripping from it and what looks like a body. Suddenly Hunter tackles him thinking he's a reporter and throws away his camera. Brendan explains he's just a tourist and Hunter reveals the body is merely a dead deer. When Charlie arrives, Hunter lets Brendan go, and the two teens run back to the car when they notice Hunter is armed. Meanwhile, in Alaska, scientists detect strange atmospheric disturbances. Moments later, the teens arrive at the lake house. While Rob and Kara share some private time, the others explore the surrounding forest. Brendan installs a motion sensor on a tree for safety. The trio then discovers a hidden house in the woods. Annie convinces the others to go inside, assuming it's abandoned, but fresh pelts outside indicate otherwise. Inside they find stuffed animals and a functioning Doppler radar. Under a dusty sheet, Annie uncovers a military radio which causes her to cough uncontrollably, triggering her asthma. Fortunately, she recovers with her inhaler. Brendan finds photos on the wall showing that the house belongs to Hunter, a former military man and astronaut. As Hunter returns in his truck, the teens rush to hide in another room. They can't escape through the locked back door, so they sneak out a window. Hunter notices the disturbed sheet but is distracted by the teens' escape. He attempts to pursue them, but a fallen tree blocks his path, giving the teens time to run away, though Charlie trips. They return to the house and learn from the news that mysterious cloud formations are rapidly spreading across the globe, though meteorologists are puzzled. Brendan observes the clouds growing stormy in their area as well. Rob discovers the car battery is dead and suspects Hunter is behind it, though everyone denies leaving the lights on. At the Blackbird military bunker, the FBI and military discuss Project Blue Book, which ended in 1969 but has resurfaced due to pilots' ongoing reports of similar encounters. Romanovich, a prisoner, is brought in and tells his story. They are informed that the visitors are approaching. Romanovich reveals tattoos from past incidents, claiming the aliens cannot be fought. Back at the lake house, Rob discovers that the car's hood was forced open, believing Hunter tampered with it. That evening, Annie asks Charlie about the picture on his phone. He explains that it's of his former girlfriend who died in a car accident 10 months ago, and that he hasn't fully moved on. Meanwhile, Hunter prepares at home, watching a conspiracy theorist claim that the clouds are a sign of an alien arrival. Another man shows strange tattoos, and the broadcast is interrupted by a report of a massive spacecraft appearing in the sky. Hunter watches as pods descend from the stormy clouds, and an explosion causes him to have a seizure. In the bunker, Romanovich experiences the same. In the lake house, Kara wakes up and sees another pod landing. When Rob checks on her, she's frozen in front of the window and passes out when touched. Brendan reviews footage from the motion sensor camera and spots something moving in the dark. They realize it's Hunter. Furious, Rob leaves to grab his gun, unaware that Hunter is watching. Inside, the girls try to call their parents but find no signal, assuming the storm knocked out communication. Rob returns but steps in strange goo under the deck and discovers an alien hiding. He fires a shot before rushing back inside and tells the others he tripped, though Kara sees a red glow among the trees. Before she can explain, they spot the alien outside and everyone hides while Hunter watches from afar. Afterward, Rob grows frustrated with Charlie calling the shots and insults him, prompting Charlie to throw Rob on the couch. Kara then predicts they will all die, and they hear a window break. In the kitchen, they find a red alien that floats around them before leaving. Hunter watches from outside. The group decides to leave, with Annie and Brendan heading to the garage for the charged battery. Meanwhile, Charlie and Rob search for Kara but find she's gone. The red alien is now floating in the living room and moves toward another humanoid alien. The group waits until the aliens leave, but Rob, sensing movement behind him, opens fire. He accidentally shoots Kara. Rob tries CPR, but it's too late. Kara is dead. He briefly mourns before becoming cold, telling the others they need a distraction. He tries to make them run into the forest as bait, but he's distracted by a red light outside. Charlie jumps on him and they fight. Charlie knocks Rob out and leads Brendan and Annie to the car. As they drive off, they see Rob blocking the road. He jumps onto the car, and it rolls down a hill. Fortunately, no one is hurt, but Rob approaches, ready to shoot. At that moment, a spacecraft appears above them, and a beam of light abducts Rob. The others run through the woods but stop when Annie needs her inhaler. As she rests, she notices something odd on a branch. The trio inspects it and discovers a creepy moving hand. Panicking, they flee, but Charlie trips and rolls down the hill. Annie helps him find a hiding spot, but Brendan runs ahead and steps into a bear trap. He screams, and Annie and Charlie rush to help. Unable to open the trap, Annie runs to Hunter's house for help. She calls the US military and is told to wait at the gulch, but when she hangs up, she spots an alien behind her and runs. Back with Charlie, he hears a noise and grabs a branch to defend himself, but Hunter sneaks up and disarms him. He frees Brendan from the trap and assures him his leg isn't badly hurt. Annie returns and tells them about the alien in the house. Hunter leads them to another location. While he checks something, Annie secretly tells the boys that help is on the way. Hunter's flashlight attracts an alien which gets caught in his trap. Hunter laughs and asks the alien if it remembers him before shooting it. Charlie realizes they were used as bait and tries to punch Hunter, but Hunter easily overpowers him. The teens follow Hunter to his house, where he gives Brendan an injection and sets his leg. He makes Brendan bite down on a stick before painfully resetting his bones and bandaging the leg, which causes Brendan to pass out. Charlie distracts Hunter while Annie steals the keys to his truck, but Hunter reveals his truck is out of order. Instead, he offers them a boat, but they'll need to wait until morning, as sunlight slows the alien's metabolism. Frustrated, Charlie demands the keys, but Hunter insists they need to wait. He explains he survived a past alien attack and now works to help the survivors. The aliens have started taking over the planet, destroying cities and causing environmental changes. Hunter's role is to guide people to safety, but the survivors must remain hidden until morning. As the aliens close in, Charlie refuses to wait. Brendan gets worse and Hunter insists they must wait just a little longer. Annie sees a yellow ball approaching and watches it crash into a tree. When the light dims, she finds herself standing in front of a group of aliens. When Annie and Charlie regain their sight, they find Brendan gone and a hole in the wall. Just then, the alien enters, prompting Annie and Charlie to hide beneath the bed. As the alien scans the room, Charlie spots a loose plank and breaks it, allowing them to escape just as the creature lifts the mattress. Hunter then fires at the creature from his house until it retreats. He says he's enjoying himself, handing over the boat keys to the teens and telling them to leave without him. Annie and Charlie make their way to the lake, but Charlie hesitates when he realizes the area is too exposed. Annie believes his hesitation is due to the memory of his girlfriend and decides to go ahead alone. She reaches the boat, but just as she's about to start it, she suffers an asthma attack and can't find her inhaler. Charlie overcomes his fears and rushes to help, remembering that he still has the inhaler in his pocket. At that moment, they spot a light in the sky, and though they think it's the helicopter, it's the spacecraft. A beam of blue light freezes Annie and starts pulling her up, so Charlie clings to her, unwilling to let go. Moments later, Charlie wakes up inside a strange pool. He rips through the tissue on the wall and discovers hundreds of pools, each holding people, all under the watch of floating red aliens. He then tears through another tissue wall and finds a tunnel. Crawling through, he searches for Annie and hears a voice calling his name. He's shocked to find Brendan, suspended on a wall. Brendan explains that the aliens fixed him, his leg no longer hurts. But when Charlie examines Brendan's lower body, he finds it's been replaced by machinery. Horrified, Charlie moves on and discovers a room with a beating heart. Further in, he finds two tubs containing Kara and Rob, both missing their lower halves. Suddenly, Rob wakes and grabs Charlie's arm, trying to stop him from leaving. Charlie fights him off, forcing him to let go by breaking the pipes connected to the tub. Hearing Annie calling him, Charlie continues his search and eventually finds her in a tub. Her body remains intact, so he picks her up to carry her out, but stumbles, revealing wires connected to an odd skin formation on her back. Disconnecting her knocks her unconscious. The aliens soon detect the broken pipes and come searching for Rob, calling his name through his voice. Charlie finds a knife and hides in a tub, waiting. When the alien approaches, he bursts out to stab it, but the creature remains unaffected, grabbing Charlie's face and pushing him underwater. Moments later, Charlie wakes up, hooked to an alien machine. As the aliens begin their experiments, Charlie has a vision of himself in the tub, his dead girlfriend appearing next to him. She urges him to let her go so he can move on, and Charlie agrees just as the aliens drill into his brain. When Charlie wakes up again, it's morning in the forest. He notices his body is now covered in tattoos like Hunter's and his clothes are neatly folded beside him. Nearby, Annie wakes up as well. Her body also marked with tattoos, but she no longer needs her inhaler. They reunite, and though neither remembers the events of the previous night, they share a kiss. Afterward, they return to the house where they find Brendan and Rob retrieving the car. In a few moments, a perfectly alive Kara joins them. Meanwhile, the US military watches footage of the spacecraft captured by their pilots on patrol. The aliens seem to be leaving, and Romanovich smiles, knowing this would happen. At his home, Hunter admires an alien body, hanging it on his wall like a trophy. The news reports that 20,000 people vanished and reappeared overnight, prompting the military to quarantine them. Later that day, the teens pile into the car to head home, and Rob surprises everyone by predicting the text messages that will arrive on their phones. As they drive, they find the road blocked by soldiers and cops, who immediately spot their tattoos and force them out of the vehicle. The men discuss what to do, and Annie overhears them whispering about killing them. Suddenly, one soldier turns and shoots Rob and Kara. When he shoots at Brendan, he only grazes his leg, while a cop takes the opportunity to shoot Annie. Enraged, Charlie taps into his newfound power and summons the gun to his hand, opening fire on the men in his way as Hunter provides cover from the trees. Brendan also activates his power and simply vanishes. Charlie shoots the soldier who had aimed at Annie, leaving her still alive. A cop grabs Charlie from behind, but he throws him to the ground and snaps his neck. Afterward, Charlie and Hunter exchange a nod before Hunter disappears. Brendan reappears nearby, and Annie and Charlie follow him through the woods. Once they're gone, Kara's wound heals itself, and she awakens. She touches Rob, healing him too. In the forest, the trio notices another storm on the horizon. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more movie recaps.